Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. And this weekend, we've got another round of Premier League football and WSL action. Today, main focus will be on Manchester United's trip to the Emirates against Arsenal. The biggest game of the weekend, the half four kickoff, Super Sunday. So much hype around this game. And, it's gonna be a bit of a weird game, this one, because I don't think it's gonna be as simple as people think. That's what my initial thoughts on the game will probably be. I think that United will take confidence, obviously, from beating Man City comfortably um, last Saturday, and Arsenal, they're okay, but drawing, to Forest in league. I know they beat Inter Milan in the Champions League away from home, but I think the Champions League and the Premier League's a different, complete different kettle of fish. And I don't see it being as simple as Arsenal rocking up and battering United. I think it'll be a tough game for the likes of for Arsenal, especially considering United haven't lost in a while. Obviously, they have been draws there and stuff, and it's not looking the draws aren't what you want as a United fan. But I would say I think this game is going to be very intriguing. I think United will turn up as they do against a lot of big six teams. I think Arsenal will be dangerous, especially off the set pieces, as we know. And I also think United as well will be dangerous off the set pieces. So if we go straight into it, in score predictions. Sorry, I don't know what just happened then. Sorry, sorry, I was a little bit ill. Past couple of days, I think there's a bug going around or something. I'm being ill like mad. But no, if we look go into score predictions straight away, I think the score predictions is quite varied. I think a lot of United fans are like United can get something out of this, but also we could get battered. And I wouldn't. I'm not going to write out um the option that United will get battered. I've just seen that what happened at the Etihad, not the Etihad, against City at home. I think United will take that confidence in and become a hard team to beat for Arsenal. I think we'll sit deep and we'll hit on the break as we did against City, really, and let them dominate the ball. So I'm gonna go 2-2 for my prediction. I think it will be a draw. I think in terms of Arsenal's goals, I think Saka will get a goal. He always loves to score against United, especially at the Emirates. Trossard loves a goal against United. I think in the past 5 games that he's played against United, he has scored in, or I think he's the yeah, he scored 4 out of the last 5 games he's played against United. So, that's something. So obviously United need to be careful of. But I do see Trossard scoring. He always seems to score. And for United, I'm going to go Bruno and Embuemo. I think them two will be very key, especially Fernandez in the midfield for United creating chances. Embuemo, since he's come, well, I mean, he only had 1 game back, him and Ahmad. I think they'll be very crucial. And, in terms of team news, Mazraoui obviously coming back from the AFCON, obviously, unfortunately losing in the final to Senegal, which was a crazy final, obviously, with the players walking off, things like that. But yeah, I've also got a couple of Arsenal fans and their opinion, so I will play their voice notes now. So first of all, I've got Andy. So if you haven't seen already, Andy did a Christmas special and a New Year special with me. The link is in the description below, so definitely check them out if you haven't, and drop a like on them videos. So if I play Andy's now.
So I think on Sunday, I think it's going to be 3-1 Arsenal. I think the goal scorers are going to be Declan Rice, Saka, and I think Gabriel, set piece master. And I think for United, I think we're going to go quite basic here in Fernandez. Man of the match, I'm going to give it to Rice. I think he's going to have a good game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gone 3-1 Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan. He obviously, of course, he's going to go big for them, and he's probably taken a lot of confidence. Obviously, he's sat at the top of the league. I mean, they're 7 points clear, aren't they? They have a chance of going 10 points clear if City do slip up against Wolves, which I don't think will happen. But the chance to go 10 points clear, and I don't disagree with him. I think that could definitely happen. Arsenal win go 3-1. I think obviously, like you said, Saka will score. Who else did he say? I think was it Odegaard or Trossard?
I think the goal scorers are going to be Declan Rice, Saka.
Declan Rice, should I say? I think Declan Rice. Declan Rice is fantastic at this moment in time. He's probably one the best CDM or box to box midfielder out there in the world right now. I think is brilliant. And, for him to go 3-1, obviously, like I said, it's definitely a possibility that could happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if that would have happened. I just think though, United in terms of how we played against City, we're on a new a new leaf, should we say. I think, United can get a point out of this game. And then finally, I've got another Arsenal fan. He's my uncle Kaka Kevin. So in um Indian culture, Kaka means uncle. And I will play his predictions for the game, and we'll see what he thinks.
I'm looking forward to the match on Sunday against United. Put them back in their box where they belong after they got lucky against a weak Man City team last week. It should be 2 or 3-0 to Arsenal with Saka and Trossard scoring. Probably Odegaard man of the match. And yeah, that's it.
So obviously, Kevin's gone for a battering, really. I mean, he's always going to do that. Knowing him, he'll say Arsenal win the quadruple. That probably might not happen, and I don't think it will happen. 3-0, 2-3-0. I can definitely see that happening. Just obviously Arsenal being clinical, and we know obviously how dangerous they are at set pieces. Being the new Stoke City, as people like to call them. Saka, and he's gone Saka and Trossard, like I've gone for them. And I think there's definitely a possibility that will happen. Um, yeah, definitely hasn't got a clue. 100%, he's not got a clue. Um, some of the stuff that he comes out with is questionable, almost AFTV like. But yeah, no, that definitely could happen. I do think Arsenal have a chance of battering United. Um, but let's obviously hope, but in terms of United sake, that we don't get battered. And I think, like I said, I think it'll be 2-2. Bruno and Embuemo for United, and Saka and Trossard. I'm a Man U fan. I was at the game last week, and that is the best. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Bav, 100%. I think what we saw from United against City, and this is my next point really that I was going to go on to, because I'm going on to the lineup predictions. I thought United were fantastic. That was the best I've ever seen United. I remember one game that I went to, and this was the third game under Ten Hag. We lost to Brighton at home, 4-0 battering away at Brentford, and then we beat Liverpool 2-1. And that was arguably the best I've seen United play in my entire lifetime. And I think the City game was would probably betters that 100%. I just see the running off the ball, the sprinting from the likes of Ahmad, Bruno, and Embuemo was just fantastic. And if United can take that into the Arsenal game and not giving up, constantly fighting for every second ball or whatever it may be, I think there's a chance that United get something out of the game, and that's what I think United will. United will get something out of the game. In terms of what I think will happen with the lineup prediction, so as we know, Carrick has been obviously press conference and stuff, and he said that Mazraoui could be back. I think he will be back. I think he'll be on the bench. Obviously, there's no Mateus de Ligt, which is still unfortunate. 2 months of him being out now, we need him back. I think him and Maguire are quality. I wouldn't play them together. I just think de Ligt just adds that more quality in that. I don't want to say experience because obviously Maguire is older, but I would say De Ligt. I'd favour De Ligt over Maguire any day of the week. Well, not any day of the week. I would favour De Ligt. And we also know that Shea Lacey will be back, obviously serving his suspension, which was ridiculous. What happened against Brighton. But yeah, here's what I would go for in terms of my lineup predictions. So I've gone Lemons. I've basically kept it the same. I have kept it the same for City. Why change something that's worked? Lemons solid. Shaw, Martinez, Maguire, Delo. I think Maguire needs to start, especially in terms of set pieces. They have Gabriel Saliba. We know how amazing they are in the air. Gyökeres as well. So I think Maguire has to start for his aerial presence. Martinez, the aggression, fantastic from him. I'd love to see Mazraoui start, but I just think Delo will start over Mazraoui just because of obviously AFCON and things like that. Mainu, Casemiro in the midfield. I think, them two had a really good game. Casemiro obviously confirming that he's left. If you've not seen the video on my reaction to that, please check that out. Mainu had a class game, sent Semenyo back to Bournemouth, didn't he? Bruno has the 10. As long as Bruno's fit, he's going to play, isn't he? We know how good he was and how influential he was against City. Ahmad on the right and when we're up top, I think that's what we've got to do just for that pace on the break. And then Dargu on the left wing. So I've gone Dargu again, um, instead of Mateus Cunha. I just think against the big six teams, United have to probably go with Dargu on the left. I think, he's great going forward. His crosses are fantastic, but defensively, Dargu gives something more than what Mateus Cunha does, and especially like coming against Saka, you probably need two men on him, or if Shaw were to get dragged out, then obviously Dargu can come back in and cover into that kind of left back position and almost slot into a back five kind of role. But hopefully United do get a result. I think they will get a result. Like I said, 2-2. Arsenal definitely can go and win. I wouldn't be opposed or wouldn't um not opposed. I wouldn't neglect that kind of battering that Arsenal could do, especially with them being home and the new Stoke City of the era now. So yeah, obviously, hopefully, United do get a draw, that sort of thing. We've enough for two teams that can beat these. Are you? Oh, that's Kevin. Oh, well, I'll be honest, mate. I don't think you do. I think your two teams will beat yourself, and that's how you'll lose the Premier League. I do think that it's not going to be as simple as you walking away with the league right now. Like I said, I think it will be Arsenal who will lose them the league, and City will be a City, and they'll somehow catch you up somehow because you bottle it like you bottled it against Forest. You should have won that game. You had chances there, and you didn't. So, like I said, you will be the people who ruin the Premier League for you, and probably the Champions League and the FA Cup, and what else and the Mickey Mouse Trophy as well. So that's just plain and simple. You've done it for the past 3 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if you did it again. But yeah, enough about that rubbish. Sunday is the day. That's when it's decision day. United have another chance to spoil the Arsenal parade, and I think they probably will. I just had a thought. Imagine it's like Saliba and Gabriel 2 own goals or something. That'd be hilarious. Quadruple incoming, no chance. Quadruple. If you get a quadruple, I will. I will openly come on this react on my channel, and I'll be like, fair play to Arsenal, you did amazing, and I'll just be an advocate for Arsenal for an entire episode and just praise every single player, praise Mikel Arteta and Saka and who else have you got? Saliba, Gabriel, and that. The only player I do like from Arsenal is David Raya because I think he's a fantastic keeper. But yeah, enough about waffling on that stuff. Sunday's the day. I think it will be 2-2 United. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like and share. Where yeah, all right, yeah, that's a good bet. I'll do that. If Arsenal win the quadruple, I'll wear your Arsenal shirt for a live video. Good deal. But yeah, right, that's everything for today. Like I said, if you're new here, please like and subscribe, share the video, and yeah, I'll catch you on a bit. Sunday match reaction. That's when that will happen there. So make sure you tune in for that as well. And if United win, it'll be mad. Catch you on a bit.